Hello everyone. Today we're going to be making peach cobbler. I have a small can of peaches in heavy syrup, some ground cinnamon, nutmeg, some vanilla flavor. This is what we call a slurry. It is cornstarch and water. You're also going to need some sugar and butter. Those are the ingredients that you'll need to make the peach cobbler. Now I have a prepared pie crust here that I bought. And I have already cut it in strips in the sides and the edges of it. I have cut that into pieces and put it on a cooking sheet. I'm going to bake this in the oven. And then we'll be back and I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so since we're making just a small peach cobbler, I have a small pot here. This is the can of peaches I'm going to add. I'm going to add about a half a can of water. Now, I don't like my peaches big, so I take my potato masher and I crush these a little bit. Okay, so now I have, 3 tablespoons of butter I'm going to add in there. I'm going to add about a half teaspoon of cinnamon. A teaspoon of nutmeg. I put more nutmeg than cinnamon. About a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to add a cup of sugar to begin with. And then we will taste it and see. You never know when you're using peaches for how sweet they are. And we'll start off with a cup. We might need to add some more. Now I'm going to let this come to a boil and simmer for a minute so the flavors and the seasoning can marry. And we'll be back. Okay, so now you see this is boiling. I left it boil for about 5 minutes because the peaches were kind of hard. I wanted them to get tender. I had increased my heat on the stove to a medium high. I'm going to turn it back on medium. We're going to add this slurry in. This is to thicken the juice. If you don't have cornstarch, you can use flour. So, and normally, the way my mom taught me to make peach cobbler, you put your dough in there and you let it boil like dumplings while this is cooking. I don't like the wet dough, and I always want the top crust. So I came up with a better idea. Well, I browned it in the oven. And as soon as that boils only for about a minute or so, just let the cornstarch cook off. I'm going to add these in. And we're going to cut it off. These are my dumplings. Then cut this off. I'll stir this in and I'll show you what we do next. So I have 2 individual pie pans here, just the small ones. I'm going to add this between the 2. Then we're going to add our crust to the top. Oven. These are ready to go in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350. And I will bake these until they're golden brown. Okay, so I let this cook for about 20 minutes. It's browned up very nicely. You could have sprinkled sugar and cinnamon on there if you'd like. You can brush it with milk or eggs if you want it browned more. But this is what I've done.